So if you've ever heard of the Akashic Records and you are interested to know how to read your own or how to read others, you are in luck, because I would love to tell you. So first and foremost, it is important to know and understand that everybody reads this information differently based on their belief systems and their personal ability to read. So if they are clairvoyant, they're going to see the information. If they are clairaudient, they're going to hear the information. If they are claircognizant, they're going to get downloads of information and try to convey that to you. If they are clairsentient, they're going to have feelings that give them information that they will be able to convey to you. Now, if they have a style of automatic writing, they can write it for you. So there's many different ways to access the Akashic Records, and it really all depends on your ability to access your psychic abilities. And reading the Akashic Records is not just for people who know how to use their psychic abilities. Everyone accesses their own Akashic Records because everyone is psychic. Another thing to recognize with this that is quite important is that the person that will be reading for you, if it is not you yourself, they are going to be reading through their own belief system. This is how the communication comes down and they convey it to you. It is going to be filtered through what they know and believe to be true. The way that I open the records is with a specific poem, asking for the masters, teachers, and loved ones of the Akashic Records to share information as it is in my highest and best good, or the highest and best good of whoever it is that I am opening their records for. The poem itself, or the saying itself, isn't necessarily important. The important part really is just the intention of opening up the records to gain information that is in your highest and best good. That's really it. So whatever you say towards that intention is going to open up your records. Now, once the records are open, it's like you're standing in the most complete encyclopedia of you and your soul's journey trying to find information. If you go into your records without a plan, without having some kind of question in mind, you're probably going to be a little bit overwhelmed or feel like nothing's happening, because your guides are just going to stand there and they're going to be like, hey, how's it going? What can I help you with? And then you're going to be like, yeah, what can you help me with? And they're like, everything. So I always suggest for people to write down questions or topics or areas that they feel need clarity. Now, me personally, I'm somebody that really loves asking questions. So when people come to me with just a general topic, I like to dig. I like to get the information from their masters, teachers, and loved ones. And a lot of times, if you're asking a general question, you get a general answer back. I know that's not what you really want. I know you want something deeper, something more instructional, something more helpful. I will be able to ask the question that you may not necessarily know that you want to know, but you want to know. And I would highly recommend not asking any yes or no questions, or for them to try to make a decision for you, because they definitely will not do that. Free will is a very important aspect of being alive and being a human. And so whoever you are asking, whether it's in your Akashic Records, a spirit guide, anybody, maybe spirits sometimes put their 2 cents in, but if it's somebody that's supposed to be a guide for you, they're never ever going to tell you what you should do. They'll give you information about option A, they'll give you information about option B, and then let you make your decision. And that's why I really love the Akashic Records, because we get to have lots and lots of information about each decision that you're trying to make, or each situation that you're in, so that you can make the best decision for yourself in any scenario. Ultimately, it's about developing your psychic abilities so that you are consciously aware of them, and being very intentional about gaining specific information from your masters, teachers, and loved ones. And that's it. What kind of information can you find from inside your own Akashic Records or tapping into others? Anything and everything. The Akashic Records is where the infinite information of your soul is stored. So all of your past lives, and that's all of them. I have read for so many people where we pick up on past lives where they've lived on other worlds across the universe, or they've lived lives where they were not sentient beings, or they were stars or something else entirely. So you can access any information that is your information from within your Akashic Records. So short answer, everything. And since you have access to all information that is you, it is very important for us to focus in on questions to ask in the records. It's almost like if you were to show up at Google and just not put anything in the search bar, hit enter, and expect them to give you something. I mean, sometimes there is, like when you log on to Google, the front page of Google gives you a few things of some of the things that you've been interested in. It thinks maybe this might be useful to you. And sometimes that happens. When I open the Akashic Records, a lot of times there's information that comes forward without any questions being asked, because they kind of know who you are and they know what you want to know. But when you have something specific on your mind, it's important to ask the right type of questions to get the right type of answers. If you're asking yes/no questions, you're going to get yes/no answers. If you are asking open-ended questions, you're going to get a more interesting answer. Maybe something that will help you more clearly. So yeah, anything and everything, depending on how you ask your question. So this wonderful comment here is from my video about how to read your own Akashic Records. So if you didn't happen to see that video, go ahead and go back and watch that one. It's really cool and easy. And to answer your question, yes, I do. I do trainings on how to read your own Akashic Records, as well as how to develop your psychic abilities, because you do need that in order to open up your Akashic Records and understand what's in there. And the psychic ability training that I do isn't just for opening up your Akashic Records. It's for any modality that you want to choose to use your psychic abilities for. So basically, we would just do a concentration on Akashic Records if that's what you wanted. If you have a desire to read tarot cards, we could do a concentration on that. If you wanted to do pendulum work, automatic writing, channeling, literally anything that you want to use your psychic abilities for, I would be able to help you figure out how to make that happen. So if you are interested, go ahead and click on the link in my bio. It takes you to my website where you can check out my mentorships. It's going to be the Psychic Ability Mentorship. We will spend 1 month helping you to hone your strongest gift and opening up your Akashic Records or whatever modality it is that you want to use. And for anybody that is serious about training for their psychic abilities, I offer a discovery call. It's for free. Just send me a quick email and we can set that up. How do you know if what you're receiving in the records is true? Great question. The obvious answer is that you need to believe it. But how do you do that? Now, as I have said before, the only way you're going to know what are in your Akashic Records is through your own psychic ability. And so really what we're talking about is, how do you trust your own psychic abilities? Number one, you need to trust your receiving. If your body is telling you something is true and you're constantly ignoring it, for instance, if you're going into a building and you're getting a gut feeling, I shouldn't go in here, you override it because all your friends are happily walking right in. You go in there and some crazy shit happens and it blows up in your face. It makes it difficult for you to trust your inner knowing because you're not trusting your inner knowing. So you have to decide to start trusting your gut. Start trusting what your body is giving you. Start trusting what you're seeing in your mind's eye. Start trusting your own system. How do you do that though? There are several ways to do this. A really great way to do it is through meditation. You're going to do somewhat of a deep meditation to get yourself in a really high vibration. And then you're going to call in some spirit guides, maybe ask them some questions, maybe even just start opening up your Akashic Records and see what comes through. Maybe journaling some of those things that are coming through to see if there's any patterns. If there's a sort of indication that you receive that this information coming through is from your Akashic Records or is from spirit guides. And I'll tell you this, if you're in a deep meditation, that shit's from them. It's them. You can trust that. Another way is to just read for people, like getting a tarot deck or a pendulum and practicing with friends or family, people that you can trust, that are going to give you legit answers back, feedback, right? Like, so if you're not on point, they're going to be like, man, that really didn't resonate. This will help you practice what it feels like when your channel is open. The other way is just by practice in the wild, getting those gut feelings when you're out and about, and like sort of like an exposure therapy type thing when you are receiving a gut response, or something's happening in your mind's eye, a thought that just keeps happening and it will not get out of your head, not a song, a thought, like somebody is screaming it at you, or you're getting downloads and your body's reacting to the downloads, right? You've got to practice. There's no way for you to get around the practice. You absolutely have to practice. And the reason that we have to practice is because it builds trust. We're building trust with our own self and our ability to have an open channel. It's not your ability to be psychic. Everybody is psychic. Everybody can read their own Akashic Records. It's you're building your connection with your channel, your instrument. And that's really all it is. It just takes time and patience and not giving up.